live performance for me is the lifeblood of a performer's experience. It's the reason why we do what we do. There's nothing like being able to perform something that you care about to an audience of people that are receptive. And we have been so lucky to have been receiving sellout standing ovations each night on this show, which will be coming up to 2 years this August. Being on the road is so much fun because we get to experience people all over the country and the different towns and the different places that people live and work. I get to experience and share with the people who are then appreciative for the show. That kind of dovetailing of travel journey and performance experience together is a really wonderful experience, and not one that I not one that I will ever allow myself to take for granted. It's certainly one that I'm always going to be excited by. My dad was actually nicknamed Dr. Zhivago because he looked so similar to his Middle Eastern acting equivalent, Omar Sharif. They really looked so similar, it was uncanny. And when my dad was inventing the heart-lung kidney machine, he had all of the female attention at the university and at the hospital, and certainly it was timely because those kinds of films that Omar Sharif was in were very popular, and so it was really fun for me to take on this role because I got to tease my dad that I got to effectively play him, which has been really fun. I think I've been so lucky really when I look back at the roles that I've already played. I I've played the roles that I love. And just as I think of a new one, it then becomes available and I end up getting to play it. It's so fascinating to me, from the Richard Gere role of Billy Flynn in Chicago, being the youngest performer to take on that role, to the Marlon Brando role that I took over from Ewan McGregor in Guys and Dolls, to the role Hugh Jackman was going to play, Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. That the production got moved to London, and Hugh never got to play the role as he was filming, and I got to play the role instead. Through to the Burt Lancaster role in of Milt Warden in From Here to Eternity. These are all really classic, iconic roles, and then you add on the Omar Sharif role in Funny Girl, and it's been a pit stop right through Matinee Idol, royalty, that I've had the privilege of being able to dip my toes into the water and take on those roles and recreate them for a new era and a new audience. And in this instance, on a hit show that is lighting up the boards up and down the UK. As a storyteller, I try and use different mediums, whether it's a 3-minute pop song or an operatic choral ensemble, irrespective of whether it's the silver screen or whether we're in theatres up and down the country. There are many stories that need to be told, and every man and woman has their own story. And I think now is a time more than ever when people need people, and that the fact that we have the song People Who Need People as a lyric in our production is so poignant and meaningful at the end of each show. It seems like at the end of each show, as we've been doing this, as we've been performing this story and sharing it with audiences, which is both an ugly duckling to swan story and the story of a breakdown of a relationship. And whether, no matter what's happening in the news, no matter what terrible things are happening in the world, locally and nationally and further afield, at the end of the show, when we have the standing ovation, we sing back the chorus of people. The audience sing with us. And in that moment, as people stand clapping, standing on their feet, and we stand facing the audience, we face each other, the performers and the audience. We sing that song, People Who Need People. And it is not without a dry eye and without a sense of appreciation for how lucky we are to be alive and safe and healthy that we sing that song, and we sing it from our hearts, and it means all the more given some of the crazy and sad and tragic and strange things that are happening in the world now. And so now really is a time to bind together and to understand each other and to be compassionate for one another and to love one another more than ever.